Tampa Bay Lightning by a final score of 4-1 in Game 4, and this series is all tied up at 2. So this loss doesn't hurt as much for me as Game 3 did, but that's just the type of fan I am, where Game 3, the Rangers had a chance to really put the series away, and they couldn't do so. And Game 4, again, Tampa was the better team. The Rangers have basically all postseason long have been a much better home team than road team, but the Rangers have come up clutch in elimination road games. In elimination road games, they are 2-0, but in non-elimination road games, they're 0-7. And the injuries are piling up a little bit now. So Ryan Strome did not play in this game. I think he was close to playing. And so I wouldn't be shocked if he played in Game 5. I'm hopeful that he does. But unfortunately, Philip Hedl, who has, of course, really been coming on strong, has been one of their best players. He, would leave due to injury either late in the second or after the second. He would not play the third period at all. The injury, I think, must have occurred in the second period. So that's two centers right there. And so, you can move Andrew Kopp to the middle, but Andrew Kopp has not been very good. So that's a bit of a concern for me. More than anything is just the health of this team. But this was a disappointing showing. The Rangers did not score a goal at 5-on-5 in Tampa. It was 3 power play goals in these 2 games. Look, the Rangers were the better teams in Tampa. Tampa were the better teams in Tampa. We're all tied up at 2. This is what it should be. Although, like I said, Game 3, you're up 2-0, and that was the chance, in my mind, to really put this team away. Now it's going to be definitely very difficult. It just is. And Game 5, for me, that's a must-win for the Rangers. Game 5 is a must-win for the Rangers, and you hope the crowd can get them into it, and I'm sure that they will. But Tampa's seasoned, and they've been here before. So, there's got to be definite concern. And like I said, the Rangers, they should know this. They've been the team that's been, on the comeback trail. The teams in these Rangers series, the teams that have been, trailing, the Rangers versus Pittsburgh, the Rangers versus Carolina, have been the successful team at the end of the day. Hopefully that trend doesn't continue in this one, but it might. And it's tough when you have a team like Tampa on the ropes, like they kind of did in Game 3. You sure as hell better take advantage of that, and the Rangers did not. And so that can come back to bite you. It just can. Now, look, a Game 5 win can cure a lot of problems. By no means does it mean that you're in a good, that you're on your way to the Cup final. Absolutely not. But if the Rangers lose Game 5, I think it's done. And so the Rangers, the desperation level needs to increase. It's frustrating that the Rangers, don't show that same amount of desperation level game in, game out. And it's tough. Tampa Bay naturally was going to be the more desperate team in Game 3 and 4. For Game 5, the Rangers have to be the more desperate team. They just have to be. And so we will see what happens. I hope the Rangers can be as healthy as they possibly can be. But this Game 4 was not good. This was reminiscent for me of Game 5 of Carolina. Rangers just did not have it in this game at all. And in some ways, I don't know. I mean, the shot totals can be misleading. The Rangers were severely outshot in Game 3, but sometimes that's a product of the score. Tampa Bay was trailing for a good chunk of Game 3, and so therefore, and the game was tied, so Tampa Bay really needed to pester Igor more so, whereas Tampa Bay was more in protect mode, so they didn't, the shots on goal, it can be a bit misleading. But for the Rangers, like I said, Strome was out, and so that meant that Goodrow moves up to line 2, which is not ideal at all. It was tough to say who was the center. I believe that Andrew Kopp was the center and Goodrow was on the right wing, from what I could gather. But I'm sure it was a bit interchangeable. And the fourth line saw Kevin Rooney return, so it's Mott, Rooney, and Reeves. It's just the fourth line becomes worse, and the second line becomes worse, and that's not great. And speaking of the fourth line, who has had its moments of doing okay, but the one thing I'll say about them, as much as I'm not a big Ryan Reeves fan. I should reword that. Love what he brings to the table, energy-wise, and the intangibles. But just as a hockey player, he hurts you. But the good thing was, to this point, he really hadn't hurt you in terms of being on for goals against. Well, that would change as Pat Maroon, at 2:38, scores his third goal of the playoffs from Bogosian and Belmar. Bogosian made a very nice play around Justin Braun. You can't have Zach Bogosian be making moves around you, and Maroon finds the loose puck and puts it past Shesterkin. And this is blame can kind of go around. I mean, to me, Braun, Reeves, I feel like Rooney maybe should have tied up Maroon. That fourth line, without Goodrow and Rooney on it now, with Reeves, it's not very good at all. So, that was huge. The Lightning take that 1-0 early lead, and from there, they kind of had it, as far as I was concerned. They kind of had a good grasp on this game. And, right at 2:38. Then, to make matters worse, Ryan Reeves takes a penalty at 6:26. The Rangers did kill that off, though, luckily. And eventually, we head at it. They come out of the first down 1-0, which I thought was fortunate. The Rangers did not play a good first at all. At all. Tampa Bay should have been up by more than one. So we go to the second, and they made a line change, a rare one at that. Panarin and Kreider flipped. So normally we see Zibanejad and Kreider, but we saw Panarin with Zibanejad and Vetrano, and Kreider with Kopp and Goodrow. And the second period began, it was better to start. It couldn't be much worse than the first, but it was better. But ultimately, it didn't matter. Rangers didn't have any great chances. And at 11:23, Frank Vetrano fights Brandon Hagel. Kind of a spur-of-the-moment fight for two guys that aren't much of fighters. Certainly I know Vetrano is, and Hagel maybe a little bit, but not really. And so where would it go from there? Well, Tampa Bay would score at 13:07. And this was a play where it was the newly Kreider, Kopp, Goodrow line was on with Lindgren and Fox. And Shesterkin just made a good save. But it was kind of the Rangers weren't able to kind of get it too deep. And at the neutral zone, it was a pass, I guess, from Palat to an open Kucherov, who scores a breakaway goal. Nikita Kucherov, his 7th goal of the playoffs from Palat and Jan Ruda, to make it 2-0 Tampa Bay. And with Shesterkin, it's tough because it's hard to blame someone on breakaways, but Igor, it's been a bit of a struggle for someone who's known to be good at stopping breakaways. So Kucherov goes 5-hole, and he makes it 2-0. Then we head to the third, and at that point, I have no idea the Rangers. The Rangers to me are done. But what makes matters worse is that you find out the Filipinos out, and like I said, just with Strome being a center, with Hedl being a center, if those are the two guys that are out, that's a problem. I don't know how you fix that. So I'm hoping that one of them can be back, and I'd like to believe that one of them will be, but another one might be out. So we go to the third, and early on, it is a tripping penalty by Chris Kreider at 1:06 of the third. And the Kreider penalty would not lead to a goal. However, soon thereafter, at 4:56, it's a goal for Steven Stamkos. Notice that the big boys are stepping up now for Tampa. Kucherov, Stamkos, Palat. So it's Stamkos' 7th from Palat and Ruda again. Makes it 3-0 Lightning. And this was the Zibanejad line was on for this one. And, what can you do? It's 3-0. Then later on, Rangers have a power play at 6:37 after Sergachev interferes with Ryan Reeves. Power play is unsuccessful. Kreider then takes another penalty, an interference penalty at 7:33. Rangers kill it off. And then at 16:08, Alex Killorn holds out Adam Fox, and that's the Rangers' one goal. And it's a 6-on-4 goal as the Rangers pull their goalie, and it's Artemi Panarin, his 6th goal of the playoffs from Vetrano and Kreider. Cuts it to 3-1. And then, Rangers have some chances with the goalie pull, but not really much of anything great. And eventually there's a turnover. I forget who it was. It doesn't really matter. It might have been Keandre. Might have been Kopp. Either way, Andre Palat scores the empty net goal. 7th goal of the playoffs, 1951. Gives Lightning 4-1 win. An easy win for the Tampa Bay Lightning. Plain and simple. The Rangers need to play better in Game 5. And so now you kind of need to bank on home ice, which isn't a terrible place to be. I mean, thank God the Rangers had that home ice, but it's tough. Look, the Tampa Bay Lightning, this is what they do. They have won, 10 straight playoff series. It's tough. It wasn't going to be easy. And, if you had told me it'd be 2-2 before the series, I would have taken it. I mean, 1,000,000% I would have taken 2-2 going back home for game 5. It's just tough when the Rangers had a chance. Not an easy chance, but a chance up 2-0 with a 2-0 series lead in game 3. And for me, that's what's still hurting me, is that there was an opportunity there that was lost. And Jacob Trouba is a big reason for that. And look, maybe the Rangers were going to find a way to lose the game regardless of anything. That's possible. But the fact remains is that there was that opportunity. So that's what stings. Game 4, hey, look, Tampa Bay was better. They win. No surprise. And so game 5 is the key. The New York Rangers need to play a really good game. The crowd's going to be crazy. You'd expect Igor's best. And, you hope for a more healthy Ranger club. And the path to victory here is game 5 and 7. That is, the home game 5 and 7 is the path to victory for the Rangers. Anything less than that, and this series is over, and the Lightning will win. So the Rangers have to kind of cut this momentum that Tampa has gained, just like Tampa did to the Rangers. So you hope that the home ice thing continues, but a definite cause for concern. But hey, the Rangers have been here before. They've shown the resilience all season, all playoffs long. And I'd expect that part to continue. It doesn't mean you're going to win, but I'm sure that they will put their best foot forward. When the Rangers have had their backs against the wall the most is when they've performed the best. And so that is here again. Game 5 is, I'm going to say it, that is a must-win game. If you go down 3-2, I don't believe you win this series. I'm almost sure of it. So you got to hope the Rangers can give it their best effort in game 5, and you got to hope that Ryan, Strome, and Philip Hedl, that at least one of them will be ready to go, because if you lose both of them, that is going to be very tough to come back from. So again, Rangers lose game 4. The Lightning take care and hold serve at home, and now we're all evened up. It's a best of 3 in this Eastern Conference Final, and we will see what happens at Madison Square Garden for game 5.